All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's LP, writer and creator of the comic books Nyobi and Savage Sin, coming here with another video. No article to read, no script, nothing like that. Just shooting from the hip, too legit to quit. We have a huge comic book launch that just went down the other day from Yellow Flash. The Golden Patriot is here. Pre-orders are now up on Rippasend.com. And everyone's talking. Everyone is claiming that the other party is, quote unquote, coping and seething. And it all depends on your point of view. Yes, Luke, the Jedis have many different points of view. It's all a matter of perception. And it's all a matter if you want to hate or if you want to love. It all depends on scale and ratio of things as well. And it all depends on what you consider to be a bona fide success. Now, full disclosure, I don't know Yellow Flash. I'm not asking anything from Yellow Flash. I don't want to do anything with Yellow Flash. He is old school CG, that is for sure. He's one of the OGs that have moved on away from Van Sciver and his cult. But is Golden Patriot, quote unquote, successful? Well, again, that comes down to a matter of perception. And perception is reality, folks. So I think a lot of people going into this project may have had the presumption, they have assumed, never assume, it makes an ass out of you and me, that this project was a bona fide, sure to be $1 million hit. I can tell you right now that sometimes even Van Sciver, even though I don't like him, can be correct on some things. We have total sales of $54,110 with 1,886 books sold. For 54.11% of the sales goal, which is amazing if it was me, right? I have done $20,000 to $30,000 campaigns. I've never, ever gone above and beyond that. 54,000 American dollars for me would be like a godsend. It would be better than Rippasend. It would be godsend. But for Yellow Flash, for someone that has a substantially large YouTube channel, large YouTube presence, and for all the controversy and hibbity-jibbity that's been going on about this book, all the attention that this book has received and gotten, whether it's love or hate, means it's been on the radar, and it's been on the radar for quite some time. So, in scale compared to other Rippasend books, notably Isom and whatnot, why is this not higher? Because Ethan's right when he says that normally when you place a goal, the goal is not really the goal. Because we talked about this on my show, me and Max and the others. You have the goal, and then you have the goal, okay? So what's the difference between the first goal and the second goal? Well, the first goal is a number you're placing there pretty much as a placeholder, as a number to beat, and then brag about once you beat it. Normally, you want to try and beat that number in your first day or two, right? So if I put a goal of 5,000, but I know it takes 10,000 to get Nyobi out, there's the goal, and then the goal. The first goal is $5,000. Let's just put that down there, bare minimum, because once we hit 5, the algorithm says you're now fully funded and pushes the project harder on Kickstarter. Now, this isn't Kickstarter. This is Eric July's own site. So there is really no algorithm pushing, if you will. You're going to see what you're going to see here. Then there's the goal, which is what we really need or want or what we're hoping to get. So I think the $100,000 goal that they placed here wasn't like, oh man, if we're really, really lucky and if we promote and claw and scrape and bleed, maybe, just maybe we can get there. No, I think expectations were they were going to blow that out of the water in the first night or two and then be like, hey, look, we got, $100,000 campaign. We did it really easily. We're on our way to 2 or 3. I think that's sort of like the expectations. Now, I did hear Yellow Flash say the other night that he had never said that he was going to make $1 million or $2 million or whatever it was the frog was quoting. But I think behind closed doors, and again, this is an assumption, never assume it makes an ass out of you and me. But I think the assumption was, and I think for most people it was, that this was going to be a bona fide hit. So what went wrong? What went wrong? Well, I'll tell you what went wrong. Talking about this book for too long, right? We've heard about the Golden Patriot for a couple of years now. And we've never really seen much on it other than a couple of concept images and that, right? So because the promotion of it drug on so long without seeing any actual real material from it, hurt the book. If I talk about Nyobi Outbreak for 2 years straight and never show you anything, never show you the covers, there's no campaign page, there's nothing to look at, there's nothing that preceded it, how in the hell are you going to know what this is? How are you going to be excited for it? Especially after hearing about it for 2 years. You hear about it for so long, you felt like you've already owned it and read it, even though you've never seen it before. That's sort of problem number 1. Problem number 2 is the lofty goal. Problem number 3 is it's kind of done before, and I think like someone will look at Nyobi and say it's been done before. Yes, mutants have been done before, X-Men's been done before, pigtails have been done before, but so has Golden Power Rangers, Yellow Power Rangers have been done before. And the fact is that it took such a negative hit from Comicsgate. You know, all the controversy, all the backstabbing, all the drama, I think really hurt this book. The other thing that hurt this book is that he kind of did what we call like a stealth launch or a soft launch, meaning he launched without any really big hoopla around it. When you launch, that needs to be an event. That needs to be a party. That needs to grab attention, okay? You don't launch it one day and then do a live stream on it 48 hours later, right? Because Ethan is right when he says your opening weekend, that first 2 or 3 days, regardless if it's Rippasend, Indiegogo, or Kickstarter, we've said this on my show ad nauseum, like a broken record, like a parrot, that your first 3 or 4 days are going to be your biggest days. That's when the most people are going to come in. And now people are just going to trickle in with this, because now we're on day number 3. He's 54% funded. The other thing that I think is hurting this project is that when you scroll through it, you don't really get a good look at the covers. You can kind of see them here in these little square windows, right? But you get a pretty decent look at a couple of the pages, mind you, with watermarks, though those aren't really necessary. And there's only 3 pages, right? So just a quick look. 3 pages, non-letter pages, and I understand why it's not lettered. Usually lettering's the last thing that you do. But you don't really get a good look at the covers. Like, the covers need to be here. In fact, I would have led with the covers. John Diller, cover A, Mike S. Miller, cover B, Irene, cover C, whoever is, doing the other covers, like your 3 or 4 covers, need to be first, then pages, then notes on the creators, notes on ship. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at my campaign versus this one, right? Clear difference. Now, when you click on, say, this, the Mighty Patriot, Golden Patriot, $17 to $35. You get to choose your covers. And this is about as big of an image as you're going to get for the cover. That's not good enough. Okay, you can barely see what's going on there. This needs to be larger. Larger. That's what she said. It needs to be larger. There is no real good look at these covers. I think it's cool that he's doing CGC. These are the yellow labels. That means they're verified signatures from Eric July, Eric July. Yellow Flash. Maybe John Diller is signing them. Also, I think editors should be using their real names. I think everyone should be using their real names. Literature Devil. Now put your real name. Writer, Yellow Flash. I mean, I guess pseudonym, but don't you want people to know that, like, don't you want your real name attached to your work? Right? I mean, I know I do. I mean, I don't want, like, something classic to be written, potentially, and my name is not attached to it. just my YouTube persona. No, I want more credit than that in life. I want my fucking flowers, goddammit. But the things that they do right on this campaign in the sense of information is they got the specifications. It's nicely laid out as far as the information goes. But what's lacking is the imagery. There is no in your face, here are the covers. It's just not there. So what's my prediction on this campaign? What am I predicting is going to happen with the Patriot, Golden Patriot? I do think it will meet its goal. I think it will take a few weeks to get there. Not even a few weeks. I think it'll take a week or two to get there. And then it's going to just drag on. It's going to drag on from this point on anyway, because he's already on to the third day. Most of the people who are excited for it have already came and backed it. All right. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention another reason why this campaign might be hurting, comparatively speaking, to, say, other Rippasend campaigns, is that just the economy sucks right now. On top of that, people have less interest in comic books. We've been documenting this for the last year or two. Okay, all crowdfunders are down for the most part. There's a few exceptions out there, exceptions to the rule. There always will be. But in general, if you go look at everyone's campaigns, especially the people that I know, I can tell you that one of my friends has to refund a campaign because they barely fund it. It would cost them more to fulfill it than it would to refund it. I can tell you another friend of mine only met half his goal and has to restart his entire campaign a couple months down the road. For books that have been proven to be successful in the past, by the way. I've seen Matt Weldon, Bill Williams' Punchline barely scrape $2,000 or something like that on Kickstarter and on Indiegogo for a book that that was pretty phenomenal. That should be a $20,000 to $30,000 campaign easy. Wasn't. And why? Again, the economy sucks and people have less interest in comic books. It just is. And I'm a guy who makes comic books, and I'm telling you that. As I told Tyler Carpenter, I will be the last guy on that ship when it sinks. But trust me, I did. And I know I'm not encouraging anyone here, but the ship's sinking, right? We need to fix the ship. We need to start bailing out some water. And we've been trying to do this for years. Crowdfunding is one of the better ways for people to get a hold of indie books. With the collapse of Diamond, the uncertainty of it all, and just sort of like the lack of interest, you really need to start coming to creators directly if you want their stuff. And by the way, if you do want my stuff, you can find it on eBay. And to tell you all about it, here is our sponsor. So that's my word on Yellow Flash. What's yours? Sound off down below. All right, and just who is today's sponsor? Well, it was me, Austin. It's been me all along. And of course, what we're promoting here is the Nyobicomics eBay page. Link is in the description of the video, pinned at the top as always. Come on by and check out what we have to offer. It's Nyobi all the way from the original black and white stuff all the way up to Outbreak 3 with Outbreak 4 right around the corner. Thank you for supporting that comic on Kickstarter, by the way. And if you didn't know, I also have a second comic called Savage Sin, and we got Savage Sin #1 and #2 out with all kinds of great variants. You can see right there on the screen, we got one from Greg Bo Watson and R.B. White. We got everything that you need to catch up on the Nyobi Comics universe. Savage Sin, Nyobi, eBay. Come by right now.